Welcome to the Lounge Lizards podcast. It's so good to have you here. It's a leisure and lifestyle podcast founded on our love of premium cigars, as well as whiskey, travel, food, work, and whatever else we feel like getting into. My name is Gizmo. Tonight I'm joined by Rooster, Puba, Senator, Pagoda, Grinder, and Bam Bam. A full house of lizards. And our plan is to smoke a cigar, drink some scotch, talk about life, and of course, have some laughs. So take this as your 60-second official invitation to join us and become a card-carrying lounge lizard. Plan to meet us here once a week. We're going to smoke a Cuban cigar tonight, share our thoughts on it, and give you our formal lizard rating. Bam and I recap our recent trip to Cuba. We discuss this cigar's place in the Upmann line, and we have a cigar tower intervention with Bam Bam, all among a variety of other things for the next hour. So sit back, get your favorite drink, light up a cigar, and enjoy as we pair 12-year aged Aberlour single malt Scotch with the H. Upmann Magnum 50. A double Robusto from H. Upmann of Cuba on the pod tonight. The Magnum number 50, a 50 ring gauge cigar by 6 1/4 inch. Beautiful, beautiful wrapper on these.
Yeah. Nice
Always look good.
Nice natural color.
Yeah.
A little toothy.
They have two bands on them. They have the classic H. Upmann band, red and gold and white. And then they have a second band for the Magnum series. This one, obviously it says Magnum 50, but each of them has their own second band. And we've done the Magnum 46 on the pod.
Which we
and
love.
the other regular production is the Magnum 54, which we have not done, which I'm sure we will do at some point.
Love that too.
And we've done a bunch of other Upmann that we've really enjoyed, so we can get into that in a bit.
And also just released Upmann 56.
Yeah, the Upmann 56 just came out.
It's worth trying.
For the American consumer.
Is that right?
Well, who else smokes 56 ring gauge?
That's going to be quite the cigar.
Can we just talk about what is the logic? Sorry, this is already a stupid question. What is the logic in Habanos doing that doesn't make any sense?
56?
But if they don't sell cigars in the American market, and primarily that they're obviously exporting this shit to Europe and Asia, why a 56 ring gauge?
But I think the Hong Kong market likes big ring gauges
ring
too.
really?
Yeah. I mean, they eat up QD54s, E2s,
Yeah, I sold a box to somebody in China.
Behike 56.
And he said, anything you have over a 50 ring gauge, send me your list.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
they like it over
He
there.
wanted something like 52, 54, 56.
56
It's a value
is just
prop.
too much.
It's a value prop.
They like to look like they're balling, right? When they're having a
Yep.
cigar. They want to look like they're holding something substantial.
And that's why the Behike 56 is so big over there.
Because they're 5 feet
yeah.
and 6.
And
it's
some
like
people
small.
like some people like larger ring gauge cigars who are aficionados.
Yeah.
I mean, Lawrence Sauter likes. He's not. Say what you want about like him chewing his cigars or whatever, but the guy is a tobacconist in London and he sells a shitload of cigars and he smoked every cigar there is, and he likes large ring. I mean, so I think it's just personal preference.
And I think the retailers and distributors too also know that a lot of these boxes are coming to America, embargo or not, they're coming. So I think Habanos is, trying to make cigars that cater to everyone. And I think the other thing too is it's definitely trending. Look at their lines that have come out. Look at the cigars they released, the special editions. They're not Lonsdales, Lanceros, and Coronas. I mean,
No.
they're double Robustos and bigger. They're
That's true.
they're
Plus
big
they
cigars.
can make more money off of a bigger ring gauge.
Yeah.
You can sell it at a premium.
Yeah.
I mean, instead of rolling a petite Corona that you're going to sell for like, $10, $12, you can sell the 56 for whatever it's going for.
I can't imagine. What's that? Probably $40, $50 a stick. But. All right, boys, let's cut this thing. See, we're getting on the cold draw, the wrapper. So again, we've done some other cigars in the line. This one we often find to be a little different.
It's a little light.
It's a little lighter than the 46.
I like the cigar. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either.
No.
To me, this kind of lands the same way a QD50 does in that line. It's kind of in the middle as far as, or excuse me, on the lower end as far as like strength and flavor.
Rooster gave me my first Magnum 50.
I've actually never had this. This is my first time.
Really?
Years ago.
Well, I like the cigar.
Yeah.
I think that for what it represents, it
Sorry.
it's
Pagoda, Christ.
Wait your turn.
What episode is this?
62.
Pagoda, what are you getting on the first third?
I'm so distracted. It's like
You need to leave.
I will leave.
I like the cigar, and so I think these are 2019, January 2019.
Awesome.
I'm just curious to try this because the only reason I haven't really pursued it, I feel like everything I've read or heard about it, it's a very polarizing cigar. People either love it or hate it. So I'm very curious where I'm going to fall
A
on that.
lot of people in the group love it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I got one of these from you, Rooster, 3 or 4 years ago, and I bought everything you had. I like them. You sold me the rest of the box. You don't remember that.
I think these are often more earthy. I think they're not as they're just there's something different about these cigars, which obviously we'll experience in a second. But
milk chocolate, from what I remember.
yeah, and on the cold draw, it's like it's cedar. There's a little bit of dried fruit, but it's very different than the Mag 46, which is only 4.
I get all the notes I get are so subtle in
Mhm.
the cold draw. So subtle.
Very.
It's almost like,
There is a little dry fruit, a bit.
yeah.
They are, but I like the notes I'm
Maybe
getting.
a little
on the
Yeah.
little
cold draw.
almond.
It's
on there.
nice.
I
Baking
think it's
some
a
bacon
good
spices.
daytime, like after breakfast smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's smoke it.
Let's light this thing, boys. The H. Upmann Magnum 50 from Cuba. Again, it's a 50 ring gauge cigar by 6 1/4 inches. It's a double Robusto. What's interesting is the factory name for this cigar is actually the Magnum 50. I don't know. I don't think there's any other cigars out of Cuba that are made in this size in regular production. This is the only one made in this exact size in regular production out of Cuba. So, like Rooster mentioned, they have a Magnum 56, which is a special release. They also, I believe, have a Magnum 52, which I think they're calling the Year of the Tiger, which is like a LE or something. Regional, I don't know what it is.
Regional.
Yeah, for Hong Kong. And then, this cigar was a special release originally, and then it comes now in a bunch of regular production configurations.
Yeah, the factory code's ESL.
Okay.
I'm liking this right off the bat. Nice flavor.
Great combustion.
It's very subtle, the
Yeah.
flavors.
I like it.
Honestly, when on the light, this reminds me of the last time I had like a Connecticut wrapper cigar. It's like very light, very mild, nice flavors, but very subdued.
So, Pooba, where do you slot this usually?
Sometimes it's like a first cigar. If I'm like easing into it, I smoke them in the summer.
Hmm. Combustion's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting a little almond thing, earthy, a little saltiness, not to the degree that I would say twang, but nothing's really hitting you.
It's
Super
a
hard.
very light cigar.
Yeah.
And I get some good flavor, but it
pleasant.
certainly is light.
It's a
And
pleasant cigar.
I like that.
The aroma is really nice.
The
out
aroma's
of the cigar.
beautiful.
I got one of those when I cut it on the.
The dimple.
Yeah, I got a really significant dimple.
So
on
did
mine.
I, actually.
I
Yeah,
have a small one.
it's apparently the mark of a well rolled cigar. It's a dimple.
Well, yeah, the seams the seams on it are tight.
Yep.
Mine are a little
So-
loose, actually.
Well rolled. I mean, on mine it's well rolled.
Same.
So this came out of a 25 count dress box that Pooba had. It also comes in a variety of different packaging options. The typical 3x5 aluminum tubes in cardboard packs used to come, and I wish it still did. Same with the Mag 46 in a sliding lid box of 50 cigars, which they discontinued 10 years ago. And then my favorite configuration of all of them, of course, is I just love 10 count presentations from
Yeah.
Habanos. The little coffin, the little 10 count coffin, I
It's
think
very cool.
are excellent. Yeah, and so this cigar was released in 2008 as part of a kind of a rebrand for H. Upmann, trying to get away from some of the Corona minor, Corona major, some of the regalia, some of the cigars that weren't really prominent daily smokes of folks that liked H. Upmann, and this line has been very successful for them.
Has anyone in this room ever had a bad H. Upmann? I don't think I ever have.
Yeah, I've had Corona majors that aren't very good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I've never had that.
it's kind of a budget line. I
Yeah.
remember being very disappointed with those.
I've had some Mag 46s that were
Really?
tasty, but
Oh, tasty, yeah.
the draw was so
Some performance issue.
Yeah.
it was so bad that I couldn't enjoy the cigar.
I've had some I've had a little bit of hit and miss with those, but
Uh-huh.
more hits than misses.
For sure.
I tend to correlate this mark as a mark of high quality. for me personally.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
On that.
It's a beautiful cigar.
Well,
It
it's a
is.
global brand, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're more expensive stuff. The higher end stuff within the market is generally good.
It is.
Whether they float your boat or not is a different story.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I'm getting
But there's quality there.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a lot more a lot less rather of the infrequent notes that I was getting even before. Right now.
I don't know. I'm getting some.
So does
nice
that mean you're
flavor.
getting less or more?
I'm getting less.
Yeah. I
Ah.
know. Okay.
More or
Okay.
less.
I feel the opposite. That's funny.
More or less. Less or more.
For me, this is a cigar that on the first couple puffs, you really can't be too quick to judge, which I was, about how mild the flavor was, because now, several puffs in, that saltiness that I think Giz mentioned is like really picked up, and it's like kind of lip smacking, like it's making all the other flavors more accentuated. I'm starting to enjoy this a lot more.
I like
can
it.
like see early in the day, morning, or even early afternoon where this would slot in. And Giz also mentioned this, but the combustion on this cigar is just, it's like
It's off the charts.
just
It's a
clouds
chimney.
of smoke. It's fantastic.
Which,
Yeah.
as you've mentioned a few times, you expect that from a double Robusto. You expect that from a significant cigar. And
Mhm.
I find myself disappointed when I do pick up a bigger cigar, especially even bigger than a 50 ring gauge. If it doesn't operate like a chimney,
That's true.
I don't care how it tastes. It's there's something in my brain that's disappointing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Whereas-
it's got a dry nutty taste to it.
Yeah, it's
But
like an
like not-
almond thing or
yeah.
something.
Yeah. At this point, at least, I don't smoke these that much.
I mean, typically, would you smoke this size after breakfast?
No.
You know, I tend to smoke a lot of smaller ring gauges, in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the day progresses, maybe a little bit bigger in the afternoon. And then after dinner, obviously, you can go for a bigger smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the size-wise, you think that this would have a lot more.
It does pick up. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
big cigar, like
it
any
will.
big long cigar. At first, when you light it, it's going to be very.
Right.
It does pick up.
Yeah.
But I would smoke it in the summer, on the patio, like watching Sports Center.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit hot out. You may not want something that's just so overwhelming,
Yeah.
and you have the time, kind of a leisurely thing you do in the patio. That's kind of when I would slot these in, where it's like I've got some open space.
You
know?
don't want something to kick you around. Light
No.
lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Eat a little sandwich and then smoke this thing and have a drink.
Listen, we don't compliment Habanos a lot on the podcast. We're really Taba Cuba, but I think the blend choices that they made in the Magnum line are very intelligent. In that the 46 caters to, I think, more smokers like us in the room. The 54 is kind of in the middle, and then this one's on the lighter end. And I
Mhm.
think that it's intelligent to offer a cigar of this size that doesn't kick you around.
Yeah.
Like my father-in-law, we always talk about my father-in-law because I just think of his palate. He would love this cigar,
Yeah.
and I'm enjoying it.
I think if you like K Dorsey, I think
Yep.
if you like,
That's a great
I
comparison.
think if you
That's a
like,
really good
great
if-
comparison.
also when you have a good Epi 2, this can fit in maybe in when I smoke an Epi 2, sometimes I'm not. But again, those are like, I've had stronger ones. I know I think I shared one with Senator one time. I had an aged one, a Tubo.
We
And
did
that
them
was
on-
stronger than
we did them on the
most.
It was
podcast.
honestly one of the fuller Cubans. I don't know how.
Wow.
It was wild.
An
It
Epi
was
2?
wild. Yeah,
Epi 2.
Tubo.
We did
Aged
those.
in a
We did those
Tubo.
on the podcast. The Tubos.
They were 20.
They were good.
I think this was
No,
different.
this was
is
a
older.
different. This is an older one. We
Yeah.
did newer, younger Tubos on the podcast.
Got
This
it.
was an older Tubo. I bought. I only have 15 of them. I've smoked 5, and I think I gave Senator 1. But anyway, that cigar, it was like closer to a Partagas T4 than
it
it
was.
was. It was really quite good, and I want to say it was. I want to say it was a 15 or something like that, or a 16. I can't remember. I threw the cardboard away, but because it came in Tubos and cardboard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 5x3s.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get some like milk chocolate, like chocolatey note.
I'm getting a little bit of that.
Not like coffee, but
Yeah.
more chocolate milk kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some complexity there, but it's not like it's tough. We're also coming off some reviews that have some pretty complex cigars.
Yeah, we are.
Maybe
Yeah.
some of the most. Expectations are important as well. When you're smoking this, like the price point, everything.
What is the price point today
I was about to ask
of the Magnum 50? Do you guys have any kind of
I don't know.
ballpark? I can pull up the price list as we get into other.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
must
what
have
it
bought this
is
box 2 years ago.
If it's over,
currently, but I
can't
think
be over $20.
2 years ago, maybe it was about $20 a stick.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
Well, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's a
Because
big
of the
cigar.
size.
It's a
Yeah.
long
It's a
stick.
big
yeah.
cigar, dude.
It's got to be like $52 now.
52.
I would assume it's
Only for Bam.
Yeah.
I would assume it's
Why
mid 30s.
Why 52?
So we've done a couple other H. Upmans on the pod, as we mentioned. We did the H. Upmann Magnum 46 in the same wine. Got an 8.1 back in 2021. It's crazy to say that. We, of course, did one of the highest rated cigars we've ever done was the Lub 14 H. Upmann number 2, which I believe came in at a 9.8. Excuse me. And yeah, so now we're doing the Magnum 50.
You know, one place I used to smoke the cigar was driving. Like if I was driving up to the hunting property and I knew I had an hour and a half drive, hour and 20-minute drive, nice for the car, cup of coffee, you get in, it's the morning. I know I'm going to smoke. If I was going to smoke a Robusto, I'd smoke 2 on the way, or a half Corona plus a Robusto or something. Do you know what I mean?
I'll
So
tell you.
sometimes I would smoke this, and like, it's great for the car because it's not.
I've never had the pleasure of smoking in the car.
Really?
Never.
The only time I
Not
think
ever.
I did was in Rooster's car on a way to a golf event.
Of course you did.
You
Pagoda.
smoked in my car?
You have it's a rolling ashtray.
I've done a few things in your car.
Your car's vanity plate says the ashtray.
Yeah, it does.
I have to say, this cigar is not normally in my wheelhouse in that it's milder than what I normally pursue, but
It's
there's
nice.
complexity in
It's-
this cigar, and I'm just impressed, like how well I'm getting a lot of dried fruit now. There's like so many different
It's
flavor
good.
notes. I'm like going on a little journey. Yeah, I'm impressed.
It's a good cigar. I
Yeah.
mean,
It
it's well
is.
regarded.
It is.
You know,
People love it.
Honestly, I think there's sophistication in the mildness and the way it's
There's a
delivered.
subtlety that
the subtlety
yeah,
is sophisticated.
elegant subtlety.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
we were Singleton,
All right.
elegant subtlety, fruity decadence, elegant subtlety.
Got it.
like
mean-
before we came in here, I had an old D6, and like when you light that up, you get this like it was like a 2016 D6, right? And like you get this like it's like a flavor bomb.
It's like concentrated D4 flavors in a short steak.
It's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. But so you don't get that here. This is a little bit more of a journey, and it's a little bit, and it's definitely lighter, and you're not getting so many pronounced things going on. But
Yeah.
there's merit in that.
A lot of merit, I think.
You know?
Some spice
To me,
right
it's
now.
very
Yeah.
Cuban-esque. I don't know. I feel it's very Cuban-esque. Meaning, if I were to pick this up and without anything, I would feel.
would you pick it up?
Well,
Because I know you like a fuller.
yeah, the jury is still
Smoke,
out, but it's. I'm actually really enjoying it as well.
I wonder what our pairing will taste like with this.
I haven't tried it yet.
Let's do that.
You are
So,
the segue.
He's the segue
master.
king. The segue king.
Giddy up.
So we have decided in the new year here to revisit some of the spirits that we did very, very early on in the podcast. We probably did 14 episodes, if you include the 2 bonus before we actually started rating spirits. So we are doing the Aberlour 12 tonight. A delicious single malt.
I love this spirit.
Yeah, you love it.
Yeah, 3 fingers.
3 fingers.
Oh yeah,
Let's try it.
giddy up, baby.
So we first did the Aberlour 12 on episode 12. We didn't rate it, as we said. I think we did a little bit of a brand history on that, so check that out if you're interested. The cigar we paired it with is interesting because it was one of the, one of the best cigars we smoked all year, the Don Carlos Eye of the Shark,
Oh, that was awesome.
which got a 9.9.
That was awesome.
So,
Yeah.
I think this is a perfect pairing for
It's
the
del-
subtlety of the cigar.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's
It
re-
works so well with this. Just
Yeah.
take a sip of the scotch and then draw on the cigar. It just accentuates, like, because this is a mild smoke, you kind of need something to wake up your taste buds. And I feel like the flavor just
Dude.
like is so much more.
Dude, you're right on the money. It's awesome.
Try this.
Great pairing.
Oh, yeah.
You get so much more of it.
Right, and this is a scotch that you could drink on a warmer day
Yeah.
outside. It's so. I mean, you could like garnish lobster bisque with this. It shows so sherry forward. You know, when they bring you the lobster bisque, when they're like,
Oh, yeah.
would you like some sherry, sir? And you're like, sure, give me a couple drizzles on your soup. You could like literally do that with this. It's so sherry.
I've never had sherry put on my soup. I'm going to the wrong place.
Well, with the lobster
missing
bisque,
out.
I'm going
with
to the wrong
lobster
place.
bisque, you gotta.
I gotta get my game up.
Can I just say, speaking of pairings, I'm sorry if I digress, but I did the kettle potato chip with the creme fraiche and the caviar
Yeah.
and the champagne. Not Paul Roger. It's a hard find in a pinch, actually. But
How many miles are you away from Senator's house?
It's true.
I think it was
I would have spotted
He's
you a
got-
bottle.
he's got
Truly,
cases.
I do. I would have spotted you a bottle. any day.
I should have thought of, yeah, that was silly. But I don't know. I try to be as self-sufficient as I can. But anyway,
Yeah.
the family was floored. Absolutely floored. It's like a new thing, totally enveloped into
Dude,
the
it's a
world.
crowd
of-
favorite.
Love
Yeah.
this.
There's
I'll-
something
I'll
that-
say
Senator.
it slays
There's
every
something
time.
about the potato chip that gets everybody interested in it.
If I
Like,
recall, Puba said, "Well, it's salt and fat. What
Yep.
can you not like? And carbs.
Like, do you like butter?
Do you
Do you like
butter?
salt?
and butter,
Because
yeah.
that's what the caviar tastes like.
It is very buttery.
Potatoes, salt, and butter.
The potato chip thing, though, truly makes it. As someone,
Yeah.
obviously, I've been eating caviar for a long time, and I've always usually just had it on a Blini. That was the standard fare how you should serve caviar: Blini, creme fraiche, caviar, and then anything else that you want to add. And there's obviously plenty from there. And whenever I discovered this kettle chip thing, I'm not even remembering where I got this idea. I mean, something I must have read. And I, was like, "Let me just
I
try
actually remember
this."
exactly where you got it from.
No, I remember where I felt validated from. Bravo.
Wasn't it the woman that lives in Long Island?
That was my validation.
Oh,
So the funny thing
that
is, like,
wasn't the genesis.
No,
of the
that wasn't the
idea.
genesis of
okay.
it. So I mean, I forget where I found it, but then my wife and I are watching this Bravo TV show, and
Senator, by the way, is a big Bravo guy.
Oh yeah.
oh, there every lizard
bigger,
city.
a big Bravo guy,
And a housewife guy.
a big housewife guy.
Oh.
Grinder's gonna back me up.
Big Andy Cohen.
I can acclaim the merits of Below Deck, the various forms of Below Deck, the many machinations of which.
That's probably where you got it from.
Yeah.
No, not below deck.
Are you sure?
No, they're too basic on below deck kettle chip thing. But it was a Bravo show with this woman who's like super wealthy and this kind of big socialite in, I guess, like New York and Charleston, and she is having like a party, or she's at a party, and she's like, "Oh, they're serving caviar on Bellinis. How déclassé." And I'm sitting there like, "Holy shit!" Like she's on my page, and then she hosts some event and she serves it on kettle chips, and I was like, if this woman can serve caviar on kettle chips, I'm in good company. I can do the same thing. So I felt very validated in my choice.
Is it the texture of the potato chip?
It
Because
is.
the crispiness.
That's
the crunch,
exactly it.
you
It's
know.
like, the caviar just melts in your mouth. It's
Yeah.
like butter, like Puba said, where when you have that kettle chip that has that crisp, like the contrast in texture,
Right.
for me, just like puts it over the top. Where like a Bellini just, it's like a little pancake. It doesn't add anything to
I'm
it
gonna
to me.
try it
So-
with like some ruffles, some like ridged ruffles. You know what I'm talking about?
You could.
Yeah.
You could do it with it. Well, I mean, I think people should just do what they like. But
Doritos.
My only fear
No.
so well, they'd be too salty.
that's where I was going. That's the
It
thing.
would
Ruffles
be
would
too
be
salty.
too salty
It'd be
because
too
caviar is already salty, and then you add the chip. You need a chip that's
I
somewhat
think the
So
creme,
my
but I
ex-
think the creme fraiche takes away the saltiness, though.
Oh, he
Some,
cuts
but
it.
not-
It cuts it.
Like,
Some,
so my go-to is the low salt Cape Cod.
40%.
Oh.
Cape
those
Cod's
are-
the best.
Of
Those
course,
are
Cape
great.
Cod's the
But
one.
you
Reduced
get the
salt.
low salt
Yeah,
Cape
Great
Cod.
chip. Great chip.
So I'll do it with
Interesting.
that because I find that the regular. So my problem with the potato chip, and it's not a big gripe, because I still do like the Bellini. I do. Like when I was at the inn, great restaurant over here, Saddle River Inn, probably number 1-2 restaurant in the state.
There's
of
no
New-
doubt.
of New Jersey,
No doubt.
hands down. So I remember that big caviar service I got at my
Yep.
birthday,
Yep.
big one. Jamie brings out both. So he'll bring chips and Bellinis, right? So I'm like mulling on them. I'm mulling on the both, and I'm eating the Bellinis, and I'm like, you know what? I think I kind of I'm a little bit back and forth. I think it's what you like. Sometimes I feel like the saltiness of the chip I can't taste the caviar as much. Just saying, like the Bellini's more of like a neutral delivery device, where
You're getting more caviar.
you could argue that, But again, they're both fantastic. I mean, it's caviar, dude. I'll put it on a bagel. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too.
It's true.
I do love
It's-
caviar that much.
You know,
yeah.
it's hard to
Yeah.
mess up.
Yeah.
But it's so good. But anyway, so I mean, I wouldn't rule the Blini
So,
out.
Senator, what kind of gripes do you have with Puba's gripes?
Well, it's not a gripe, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, a little gripe.
Are you
Teach
trying
No,
to
it's
incite-
Here's
not
my
really
only
a
thing. So
gripe.
I'm not
Yes.
I'm not anti Blini in that I'm not someone who won't have caviar in a Blini. The problem for me is like the Blini has to be really well made in the sense that when Puba says that he feels like he tastes more of the caviar with the Blini. With a really well made Blini that's thin, yes, but a lot of them they can be so
They're
doughy,
doughy.
even how small they are, that it just like totally overtakes like the caviar. You almost can't find the caviar. You're like losing out on the flavor where the chip is so thin and small. Like the caviar is kind of the star on
You're
that.
right.
have
Well,
it-
the Bellini at the end's a good Bellini.
I have a great idea.
is.
Yeah.
Why don't you do the Bellini encasing a potato chip with the creme fraiche and the caviar on top, like they do for those
Layering.
gringo
Wow.
like a
tacos.
like a Mexi
Like a-
Meximelt.
like a Taco Bell.
Sounds
Taco-
like
Taco
sounds like a
Bell
Crunch
Meximelt.
Wrap
It's a
Supreme.
Crunch
Yeah.
Wrap
Yeah, like a Crunch Wrap Supreme.
And you can eat that in the car.
So
boy.
first of all, yes and yes, I would absolutely do that. I would make a sandwich. I would go Bellini on bottom, creme fraiche caviar, chip creme fraiche caviar, and eat that as one unit.
That would
Just
be
pop 'em.
incredible.
You can just pop
that
them all
I
day.
bet that would be incredible.
It would be.
All right, listen, we all have homework. We have homework. We got to come back and report back on this issue. 2 weeks.
It's a caviar Meximelt.
It's a, you got to. We have caviar
Well, yeah,
homework.
because you also have to take the egg. You do a layer of it, the chopped egg, and then you do a layer of the shallot. You know, and you make
didn't do
you make a Meximelt.
I didn't
You
do that.
could
Wow.
do it.
Wow, that's a high-end Meximelt.
Oh yeah,
But the whiskey pairing is actually wonderful.
it's fabulous.
Actually, I'm finding as I sip it more, it's opening up, and it's getting better
It's awesome.
as it sits.
Yeah.
There's some weird thing about the flavor note of this cigar that I'm really enjoying, and I can't quite put my finger on it. It's almost like the flavor notes are so subtle and are well balanced that I'm getting a lot of smoke as opposed to like distinct flavor notes. But overall, it's really, really enjoyable.
You know what's nice when you retrohale, I get a toasty nut note, which
Yeah.
is really quite nice.
And it's got cedar and it's got
Yeah.
it's kind of
It's nice and
woodyish
toasty. It's great.
toasty.
It's a pleasant smoke.
It's
Yeah,
very,
it's just excellent Cuban tobacco.
very.
And I really, would I reach for this all the time? The answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
But when I would, it's really well. I think this is really well blended.
Yeah.
I think it's really well blended.
I agree
It's
because it's
yeah.
super balanced.
Yeah,
Like we're picking out a bunch of different notes and like nothing is overtaking or overpowering the other. They all just kind of complement each other in a really nice way.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I think what's important for a cigar that doesn't have a strong body or any particular strong note, but the quality of it's so high. I think this holds a lot of merit for the guys that like a lighter cigar,
Totally agree.
and it's delicious and it's very smooth and velvety. Fantastic.
It's not a muted shit show.
No, it's
Like
not.
you can't misinterpret the fact that it is mild.
Exactly, but it's
That-
not. It's not exactly.
It's not a muted.
shit
It's
show.
not a
Yeah.
muted shit show where you're just like,
A lot of merit to the cigar.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
And it has Upmann DNA.
It
Yeah.
does.
You know,
Sure does.
you taste that.
Not a ton of baking spice, which if I were to complain about one thing,
Early on, though, you got
I
it.
wish it had a little bit more of the Upmann baking spice that we like in an Upmann 2, that we like in a
Yeah.
half Corona, that we like in a,
Yeah.
Winston a little bit.
Oh
but
God, that half Corona.
yeah,
That's a little home run hitter.
You'll start to get some like more of those like peppery baking spices down the stretch here.
The last
la-
third it
last
picks
third
up.
and stuff, it'll pick up, and so you'll get some of that, a little bit more cinnamon type
Mhm.
notes and stuff.
So what's crazy? I mean, I'm sitting here doing the math, and I'm like, I must be wrong. So this is a January 19 box.
Yep.
So these cigars are 4 years old. Which, first off, that's just crazy for me to say. Like
It's
COVID,
decadent.
COVID to me is like
Yeah.
a blur. I just can't believe that 2019 is 4 years ago.
That's crazy.
So this
You know,
was rolled by
it's crazy.
somebody who had COVID.
Just pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
Just
That-
pre-COVID.
Started early.
Because if you think about that, because 19 you're thinking just before COVID, right?
It's like it feels like
and
it was
COVID
a
feels
year
like
ago.
it was just
Started
yesterday.
19
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
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 March 20.
March
20.
20, yeah.
Or-
But late 19 they were talking about it, and
Yeah.
Yeah, Europe and Asia.
yeah, well,
This is really, really good.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we have to raise our glasses, boys.
Do we?
We have to raise our glasses. Because Grinder's birthday is in 2 days.
Oh,
Let's raise those glasses.
my man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Grinder,
Sláinte.
happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Cheers,
brother.
boys.
Cheers.
To Grinder.
Cheers.
Yes, sir.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, speech.
Getting
Let's
old.
go. Come on. For the people.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And this is lovely. I love you all.
We love
Blizzards
you.
around the world.
My man.
Smoke on.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to work a petrichor in there somewhere.
Yeah, that was disappointing lack of
Very.
petrichor.
Well, we've done a lot of petrichor, so it's you got to special occasions. Not that this isn't special.
You know what? For your birthday, we're going to put out a petrichor T-shirt.
Okay,
We're going to put that on the store.
we'll do
Actually, we had a listener
it. I didn't
email
send
us.
you my definition.
You have to send me the definition. We had a listener email us like, please make petrichor merchandise.
Cool.
And I'm enjoying the the burn and the construction of the smoke so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah, we're well into the
haven't-
first third. I
Haven't
think
corrected it.
It's
No.
performing perfectly.
And
This
I'm-
is right up my alley.
Perfect.
This is
It really is.
And I've smoked this cigar recently, and it wasn't as good as this right now.
This is by far hands down the best Mag 50 I've ever
Yeah.
had. It's not even close.
It probably has enough time on it at this point.
Like I've had, and I know that you and I, Puba, I'm pointing to Puba. Puba and I disagree on 2017 a little bit here and there. I had some Magnum 50s in 10 count boxes, Hunter and Franco stickers on them. I mean, they were just not good.
So that one box tainted your whole 2017 outlook
I had 2 boxes
of this?
of Mag 50s in 10 counts
Pretty
From-
much.
from
Yeah,
H&F.
Maybe
20s.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those bad runs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bad
I
run,
guess.
as Rob said.
These looked good in the box. Let me just look at something.
That's so frustrating as a consumer,
Yeah.
that- and as an aficionado, you get excited about good boxes.
Yeah, and you buy something that's not cheap. You
No.
buy something that's supposed to be, as they call it, a luxury good. I mean, Habanos thinks they're making Rolexes.
Yeah.
They think they're making Louis Vuitton bags. That's what Habanos thinks. And that's what that, as Rob said, they effectively told 30% of their customers that we don't care about you. We don't care about serving you. Get out, raise the prices so high. It's like, and then you buy a box of the most premium product and it doesn't smoke.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, I know that we have a lot of success, but I'm saying that like in the worst case, imagine getting a Rolex and it was a half hour fast every day.
I
That's
haven't
true.
had too many problems. The only markers that I've had problems with have been Monte Cristo, and
The Oyos.
the Hoyos,
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of had
The
problems with all of
Lucy's.
them. I've had problems with all of them.
and Lucy's. Well, I mean, I've had here and there. I'm talking like where it's like,
Consistent.
yeah. Some of the Lucy's. I mean, the Lucy's we smoked the other day were,
Spectacular.
well, not
I
mine
thought.
wasn't.
And they blew up.
I got
Not
it.
mine.
Mine
got-
wasn't.
I
Mine
gotta say
exploded.
though, the one thing I will say, going back to giving Habanos credit, is again going back to Rob's mention of runs. Rob Isla, by the way, we're talking for the listener. We did an interview with him, 10 episodes back or whatever. The run of like 2019 till now, like it very well could be that this is like we are in the golden age.
Very
of,
good
like
runs.
Cuban tobacco and production. It's been phenomenal. Like who knows? 10 years we may look back and go, wow, that 3-4 year period may end up being some of the best Cuban tobacco that's ever come out.
Like what? 19, 20,
19, 20,
21?
21.
I wonder what was like so conducive to that.
It's a good question. I don't know if the tobacco sat around longer because of COVID. I don't know if it sat around longer because of packaging shortages.
I also think there's a lot to be said about some of the 2018 runs, like the
Mhm.
Monty
like
2018.
the late
we
2018s.
were
Come on.
smoking. We were smoking young 19s in 2020 that were phenomenal.
They were
They're great.
awesome.
So they weren't sitting around.
And the sister
No.
cigar of this, but the thing is that like let's say we talk about the packaging issues. Like Cuba, Bam and I went to Cuba,
Mm-hmm.
which we could talk about, and we were told that there's effectively 1 million rolled cigars on the island. that they
Million
don't
and a
have
half.
Yeah, they don't have packaging for, right? And it's like that tobacco, those cigars are already rolled, but they're not going to get a box date until they're put in a box. So you're getting a box date maybe of late 22. that's been sitting in that warehouse
Yeah,
for
I
a year.
got
You know,
you.
so you're getting
Right.
you're getting kind of a Padron head start on the aging process. So
yeah.
you know, maybe you're getting rid of some of the like who knows? Who knows?
If that's true.
Yeah. Well, we certainly saw a lot of stuff.
We did.
I mean, you guys saw it firsthand,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and you actually saw the cigar sitting there to be.
We saw
packaged,
we
and they
we
didn't
saw a
have any
warehouse
boxes.
full of what they said was about
So,
300,000
It was
cigars.
eye-opening, honestly, to see that many cigars beautifully organized and just it was
No
incredible.
packaging.
That
No
also
packaging,
tells
no
me,
labels.
Like,
I thought you would have
could
used
also-
the word orgasmic. but-
Well,
they were probably
very
all San
close.
Cristobal
Very close,
Papucas.
Pagoda.
This could also be a golden age of fakes.
I
As
missed
well.
that.
If you have that much inventory sitting around an island in the Caribbean, there's I'm not surprised that there's people sniping cigars.
The
And
cigars need freedom as much as the people.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So I'm thinking like we should take empty boxes when we go.
Yeah.
Right.
They
I'll
could
fill
use
them
them.
up for you.
Or Tupperware.
Tupperware.
Donation.
I know we talked a little bit about it with Rob when he was on, but man, Bam and I really had a magical experience in Cuba.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. We went with Phil and Bruce, friends of ours, who've been there like 9 or 10 times. So we kind of avoided some of the BS that I
Yep.
think a first time goer would experience. But we went down for the Partagas Festival, which was
Okay.
okay. It was a little bit of a disappointment.
The gala was nice.
The gala dinner, the final night was good, but
Yep.
What was disappointing?
Well, the kickoff event was awful.
yeah, the kickoff event they were serving rolled up ham and pineapple on sticks, and that was really the food.
Yeah.
And that was
It
300.
was-
That was $350.
Wait,
Jesus.
no
But we've-
caviar.
No,
No.
no caviar.
Okay.
No
But
creme
we
fraiche?
saw photos of previous events that were incredible. The
Yeah.
spread was just fantastic.
People were really upset that have
Yeah.
gone many, many times.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Bam and I went for the first time. We wouldn't go again, I don't think.
But what's cool is, from what I understand, that you could buy tickets to each event separately.
Separately,
It
yeah.
wasn't like a
That's right.
package.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the same for the February event. coming
So
up.
it's
Yeah,
really a
about the
it's really
Habanos
a
Festival.
4-day
Yes.
it's really a 4-day thing. It's the opening night, which is like a dinner, kind of a hors d'oeuvres. You walk around, etc. Second day is a beach day. Then there's a third day, which you kind of go out to the countryside and you hang out at a farm, a finca.
How was the beach day with Bam and a
We
banana
skipped
hammock?
that day. We skipped that day.
Yeah, that would have been traumatic
I had a feeling.
for Gizmo.
Been a scene out of that movie, Sexy Beast.
I had the speedo ready. It was ready.
Oh, really? No Battle of the Culebras.
Oh God.
Shanked.
That's a horrible. That's a horrible visual. A horrible visual. And then the last day was the gala dinner. But we
Yeah.
had such a good time. We were fortunate. We toured La Corona. We toured El Ejido.
El Ejido was incredible.
El Ejido was
But La Corona was
Magic.
eye-opening.
yeah.
That's
And-
where we saw the highest volume of cigars in one room.
Yeah, and people
It
have
was
been
just-
saying
It was incredible. You guys would have went nuts.
yeah,
Nuts.
it's crazy. And
So are the locals smoking cigars everywhere, or
They
No.
can't
No.
afford it.
they can't
They
afford
can't
it.
afford
man.
it.
That's
No.
so sad.
It is.
I mean, what one
But
cigar
here's-
costs us, that's what they earn in
But
a
what I
month.
learned was they do get an allocation of this really cheaply made,
Custom
machine made. No, these are machine made
machine-made.
cigars that everyone on the island gets an allocation of.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're awful from what we hear.
Yeah.
We don't.
They're not great.
Yeah, they're
And all the
dark blue band.
torcedores are allowed to take 5 cigars home a day.
Yeah,
Those are these machine ones or good
No,
ones?
the
No, they're
ones
good
that they
ones.
roll or
That's
the,
cool.
yeah.
maybe seconds, blemishes, etc. They have
Right.
a room for torcedores to take them home. But the one rumor I want to dispel, because I've seen it a lot on the internet, you guys may have too, is that in the last 6 months or so that the desks were empty, that there weren't a lot of rollers. La Corona and El Ejido,
We're
every
pumping.
single desk
They were pumping.
was full.
Yep.
And it was really magical. I mean, it was tragic at the same time to see people impoverished. We were fortunate. We
Yeah.
took some cool stuff. We took some baseball equipment. Bam brought some school supplies. I brought feminine hygiene products. We had
So when we went down to the baseball field, the moment the bag dropped onto the grade, kids just flooded.
yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, it was. We have a video. So Phil, who's been there, he was kind of our tour guide with
Yep,
Bruce.
yep.
He brought a full duffel bag full of baseball equipment, baseballs,
Bats,
baseball
balls,
bats,
gloves,
yeah,
yeah.
everything. And we just drove around for a half hour with our driver,
Mhm.
stuffed in the back of a car. I mean, I've never been closer to another
It was like
man.
a clown car.
Yeah, it was like a clown car. We drove around like for what, an hour maybe, half
At
hour?
least.
Yeah,
At least.
trying to find kids playing baseball, and we did. And man, we rolled up with that duffel bag, and these kids freaked out.
Yeah,
Freaked out.
That's great.
Puba's all in.
it was great. Now toward the
I'm
end,
all in for giving. I'm just
it was wonderful. It was really
not.
wonderful.
I'm just not all in for the ham sticks and the clown car.
So
no. Oh, I don't think you would have done
I
well
mean,
with that clown car.
actually said that. We
Senator,
did.
Senator isn't either. I mean,
Well, Senator would have had his limo, private chauffeur.
he's out on that. I mean, he'll
Pu-
give, but
Cuba would have gotten into a fight with the driver.
you know,
But
an experience like this, it's worth putting aside our preferences.
100%. I'm glad you said that. It's so true.
you still wouldn't eat the ham and pineapple stick.
No,
He
The
wouldn't. He
I
wouldn't eat it.
I didn't eat it. I didn't touch the fucking
Yeah.
shit.
Is this a
No,
Hawaiian themed
I'd
party?
put money
It
on
must have
that.
been.
That there's
No.
no
Oh,
way
no,
Senator eats the
I'm
ham
not
and
eating it,
pineapple
but I'm
stick.
still going.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, you're gonna
exactly.
go.
So
You're
here's the
gonna
one, other
But
thing
they
I want
weren't
to say.
sticks. They were Cohiba Esplendidos.
go. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
The other thing I want to say too is that there's always been a rumor that the food is horrendous.
Oh, please. Every meal
We had some
I had
amazing
was
meals.
spectacular.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking. It was delectable.
So what,
Now, Puba does not believe me. He's looking at me with skeptical
Oh,
eyes.
you had some Batista's revenge down there. didn't
No,
you?
No.
no.
No, not at all.
You didn't have-
I had
dude?
I had a little nicotine poisoning because the
Oh.
cigars we were smoking were
So
too
we
fresh.
need to, that's a whole other topic, I think.
what's this?
Too many cigars.
Okay, so are we going to jump
What?
into this? So Juan Moya, who we met,
Yeah.
honestly, the best part of the trip for me was the people that we met.
Yeah, we met some amazing
Meeting
folks.
Juan, meeting Nestor.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that took us through the El Ejido factory? That young
Oh.
kid.
Oh, I don't want to say his name.
Okay, he's going to be a future interviewee.
Yeah,
along
definitely.
with Juan, no doubt about it. These guys are they're incredible cigar people, but just meeting them and getting their perspective, and talking to Juan, who owns a cigar
He owns Old Havana Cigars.
in the
In the
Caymans.
Cayman.
Yeah.
Cayman,
So
yeah.
we're talking about how we like to keep where we like to keep our cigars. We're in low 60s, mid 60s, maybe. And he's shaking his head, scowling. No, we keep our Cubans at mid 70s, low 70s.
Yeah.
It's shocking. They like their cigars very wet,
So the thing that I experienced,
very wet.
Did Gizmo have an aneurysm when he said this?
yes,
I almost had an aneurysm, and I actually almost threw up after a few days of smoking
Yeah.
all these very wet cigars. It gets to your stomach and your head very quickly.
dude, I smoked
Really?
Oh.
less cigars than I've ever smoked
It was,
while I was in Cuba because I thought like, I'm not going to bring anything. I'll just smoke what I find. The cigars that when you get them, we got them out of the factory. We're sitting in the factory smoking
they're
them.
so young.
They're so fresh and
Oh.
young. The ammonia, the nicotine is so strong that
No.
like there's like, as Puba has mentioned, sick period. It's a very early sick period in cigars. I was smoking 2 cigars a day. I went down for a day just on nicotine poisoning. I wasn't
Yeah.
throwing up or sick.
Yeah,
I was just like,
Jesus.
wow.
it was tough.
It
You
was
know,
bad.
one of the things to do just as a rescue, I've done it and I read about it, is have a real Coke.
Yeah, the
The
sugar.
sugar,
The sugar. Yeah, I agree
The
with
problem is finding a real Coke in Cuba, not possible.
that. Yeah.
or something. You need
We didn't
sugar.
we didn't see a
like-
single can of soda all week.
Yeah.
You're
You can't
better
get a-
rum.
You can't get a Cuba Libre anywhere?
Well, Cuba Libre you can, but
But
it
that's
has
got
rum
Coke in it.
Yeah.
It does. That's true.
Yeah.
We didn't think of that. Yeah.
Actually, you're probably better off taking your own smokes.
That's what I'm
Smoke-
going to do
smoke
next time.
those.
So
I'm
I,
gonna-
smoke the
I
fresh
did bring
ones.
a box of New Worlds.
Yeah.
And it's funny where Padron Exclusivo actually rescued me a few times. Smoking that actually saved my stomach a
Me
few
too.
times. I'm
Me
not
too.
joking.
I stole a couple from
Not
them.
joking.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
this
not
is
good
really
to
depressing
hear.
to hear.
Why-
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Like,
it's just
my fantasy of like going to Cuba is like just going with no cigar. It's like whenever we travel anywhere in the world, we always bring cigars with us.
But hold on.
The thought that like I would be going to the place that I buy so much
So here's
from,
the thing.
and I just want to find stuff on the island and smoke it all there and have this experience. Now I'm hearing,
Well,
shit, I'm not gonna even gonna be able to
everything.
smoke the stuff
So
there.
everything I had personally at the Partagas shop was outstanding.
Yeah.
That it was fantastic. And the Cohiba atmosphere, that
was an amazing lounge.
and the cigars there were kept very nicely.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, in every factory where we got a cigar, it was way too.
So
low.
there's
That's the thing. I think you guys smoked some cigars that were freshly rolled at the
A lot.
factories that
No, but-
needed to sit.
But
no?
even some of the singles that you bought at an LCDH,
Hmm.
too humid, too fresh.
They were very humid.
And I should have brought my own stuff.
The two most memorable cigars for me was the Cohiba Lancero.
Yeah.
That was off the chain.
That's a good cigar.
And the Sir Winston that I had there.
My
Both were very young. Excellent.
the best cigar I
excellent.
smoked all week was a Schwa Supreme I got at the Cohiba Atmosphere.
Yeah, I had that too. It
That
good.
was the best cigar I had all week. And
Yep.
the we smoked Sir Winston's. We got Sir Winston's for $20.
I regret not bringing the box back.
I think a virtual trip sounds better.
No, yeah, we can't. You can't adequately
Dude,
describe.
$20 for a Sir Winston? What the fuck? We
Well, that's
should've
2
brought-
years ago
Oh,
pricing.
Puba,
But
you may be onto something.
Yeah. You could pay for the whole trip by bringing like 2 boxes back.
So here's a little funny story at the gala, like the end, the last evening of the Partagas Festival. We were talking about what we're going to smoke. So I pulled out a Shark. Juan Moyes, you're sitting to the left of me, and Juan Moyes sitting to your left.
Yep.
He looks at me and says, and I love this line, "Hey, man, you're in Havana. We don't smoke those here."
Juan's a great guy.
Dude, I fucking love that line. I will never forget that. That guy
was
is
great.
one of the coolest guys.
Yeah,
I've ever
we're gonna
met.
have him on the podcast for
He's
sure.
awesome.
He's a special guy, man. Yeah, I think he's actually going to be in New York. He's going to come and hang on in person with us on the pod.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I'll say though is that we go on this trip thinking that it's going to be a cigar trip, cigar focused, and what I found and I took away, and I was really really happy to say it, like it very much was less about cigars when we came home, and it was more about the people that we met via cigars. It was the good that we were able to do for the Cuban people, which was amazing. And we had some really great food and drink.
Yeah. And
Some of the
honestly-
rum, dude.
Oh, dude. The Santiago 11. Off
20.
The
How about the 20?
And the 20 was off the charts.
20 was amazing.
Off the charts. And our evening sessions with everyone that we met
Yeah, at the
back
Hotel
at the
Nacional.
Nacional, that was incredible. It's just incredible.
That's what I look forward to.
Yeah. It was nice.
Just sitting outside on the Hotel Nacional,
Yeah.
listening to some Cuban music.
Oh, yeah.
We got a live performance of Chan Chan right in front of us.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it cost us three Cuban pesos.
Well, the
10
affordability
Cuban
is just off the chain.
It's one of the most affordable places to travel in the world because of the
Oh.
exchange rate.
It was amazing how affordable. So we had a dinner. Calm down.
Sorry.
I was excited about this one night because I couldn't believe how cheap this dinner was. 4 lobster tails.
By the way, let me just tell the listener.
What the fuck?
I've already
You're
cut,
ruining my flow.
I've cut it out a bunch by now, but Puba is sat next to Bam Bam, who keeps violently coughing because he's had this post-nasal drip thing.
Yep.
And I've, for the listener, we're not going to make you suffer through that, so I cut them out.
Thank you.
But poor Puba is definitely suffering through whatever's going on here.
He's not
from Bam Bam.
He's not even in the direction of it.
His fear.
No, you just lean in my direction and cough
Yeah, there's some for you.
every 4 minutes.
That's true. I apologize. You're my man, though. I'll tell you.
He goes,
He goes, clearly.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a decaf.
You are coughing in his face.
I mean, you're like, hold on.
he's my man. Don't worry.
Just cough straight forward instead of leaning towards me. Like as if you're leaning away from anyone.
Yeah.
I'm leaning away from the
Or
mic.
use that handkerchief you carry around.
I should.
Just cough in your vest or
Here
whatever
comes
that
another
thing
one. I
is
can
he's
feel
wearing.
it.
No. I'm good.
Cough in your chest.
I'm good.
Just close your mouth.
All right, where were we?
Is that a hanky?
Stop coughing.
For crying out loud.
Is that a hanky?
it really was an amazing trip that was not as much about cigars as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, meeting everyone that we met.
It was about the people. We had
amazing.
some amazing connections. We ended up meeting people and spending the entire week with people that we are already connected to in Facebook groups and Reddit, and it's just amazing the people that we met.
We met Andy.
And
Yeah, Andy, he runs Bob Roberts. With
as a
fantastic
U.S.
guy.
citizen, which I did not know that you cannot stay at a hotel.
you cannot
No.
stay at a
Right?
hotel there.
No, Airbnb.
You have to
Airbnbs.
go quote unquote in support of the Cuban people. You stay in an Airbnb, which is owned and operated by Cuban people. It's all through Airbnb. You can use your Amex to pay for it, which is great.
They'll hit you with a fucking radio wave, dude. Havana syndrome. You stay in the Havana Nacional illegally. You'll come back and you'll have tinnitus in your ear and fucking
You'll end up like Bam.
Yeah, he got it. He got it. He
Must
spent
have
too
got
much
it.
time at the
If you
Nacional.
don't have the plasma when that hits,
you'll come back and you have tinnitus and vertigo for
I'm
the
in
rest of your
trouble.
life.
You might get PND, post-nasal drip.
Cigar is phenomenal.
So I can't wait for the rest of you guys to come down.
Yeah,
It-
honestly,
it was
it's
magical. Man.
Worth the time, and I would go at least once a year.
What advice would you give to a first-time traveler to Cuba?
you definitely need to bring a full suitcase full of something that the Cuban people do not have access to. Medical supplies, school supplies,
Yeah.
things for children. Phil brought a full backpack full of pinky balls, like bouncy balls. And he would just fill up his pockets every day, and he'd walk down the street and he'd see a kid and he would throw them a bouncy ball. And it's as if you gave a kid in New York like a 70-inch TV, a PlayStation 5, and every game
It
they ever
made their
made.
month.
Yeah, like
the pink
look on
Spalding.
their face.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The pink Spalding.
The little,
Yeah.
just a little pinky
Yeah.
ball, little 3-inch ball that it bounces. I mean, Bam and I grabbed a couple of those from Phil. We were walking around and we saw 2 kids throwing rocks into a storm drain. And we each had a ball on us and we gave both of them a bouncy ball. I mean, we were walking maybe a quarter mile down. We could still hear them screaming and yelling.
Yeah, that was great.
And
Dude,
excitement.
racquetballs. If you remember playing having a racquetball as a kid,
Love a racquetball.
wally ball, playing that, bouncing that off the wall. That was fun as shit.
Yeah, it was.
So that's my advice to anybody who's
Oh, yeah.
traveling to Cuba is bring
You
shit.
and I know about that.
I brought
we
a
know
full
about that.
suitcase full of feminine hygiene products, Tylenol.
So I felt great going to the school.
You brought school supplies,
Right
crayons.
around a corner from our Airbnb, I brought a suitcase full of notebooks, pads, pens, other writing instruments. Met with the school, I guess.
Yeah, the head of school. or
Yeah,
whatever.
it was great. It's very appreciative.
Yeah, so we really enjoyed it. It was amazing.
Nice.
You play like wiffle with a taped up bat,
Dude,
with
in the street
with a racquetball,
or in the backyard, or
You can launch that thing in the next fucking week.
Yeah, you're breaking
You
windows.
know what I'm
man.
saying? Remember that?
Oh hell yeah!
Tape up a wiffle ball bat and hit it with hit a racquetball with it.
Everyone
you
in
can
this
launch
room,
it.
yeah.
You can launch it.
You're all
like,
too young for that, but
like-
that's what we did.
like
when we
300 feet.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
did that and got into fights.
Wiffle ball bats. I mean, that would go over great.
There you go. When you come, let's go. Bring wiffle ball.
And some duct tape.
I'm telling you, man, it
Rip
was
that thing up.
that's what the trip ended up being
I gotta
about.
see Puba in Cuba.
Cuba and Cuba.
After
I'm bringing the mics, baby.
honestly, the heat was oppressive, and it was their winter, I guess.
Yeah.
It was pretty hot, even at night.
Me llamo Andres.
Yeah. I
The winter it was really hot.
I can't wait until I'm going to see you in the streets of Cuba.
Muy bien.
Muy bien.
Me llamo
Me llamo Bam Bam.
I'll blend right in.
I think you would.
Was Gizmo introducing himself to everyone as Senor Gizmo?
Gizmo.
No.
Gizmo.
Sons
Me
of
llamo-
bitches.
Gizmito and Bambito.
Bambito works in Italy. Not so much.
Listen, you guys have no idea what you're going to experience when we go. It's amazing. Amazing.
Me and Pagoda, though. We grew up in India.
We'll be fine.
You'll be
It'll
good.
be, it'll be good.
It'll be another day.
Yeah, so-
We've
You know
seen
the
all-
other
we've
thing
seen
the other thing that was shocking to me was when you were standing out on a main street, the amount of exhaust coming off the cars was overwhelming. Like maybe that helped and maybe that contributed to how I was feeling.
And me too.
Yeah.
It did give me an upset stomach. It was awful.
Please don't go to India. I don't know about the rest.
As soon as you land from the airport, like
It's
I want
all
to go back.
exhaust.
It was gross.
It's like a
It was
layer.
gross. So, boys, we're well over halfway here in the H. Upmann Magnum 50. I'm really enjoying the cigar. Even as I'm talking, I find it to be delicious. What are you guys thinking of it right now?
Well, I think Puba mentioned that we could expect this, and it picked up in flavor
The peppery.
down the stretch in the
Little
final
peppery.
third. Yeah, a little
White pepper.
peppery.
Yeah.
This is nice. I mean, this last third is more my speed, like what I would normally pursue in a cigar. But for where this would slot in, which I think all of us have talked about, like morning, early afternoon, there's a lot to enjoy here.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I agree too. And it also, it doesn't take as long to smoke as you'd think. At least this particular box, the cigars, sometimes you pull out a double Corona, or this is, I guess, technically a double Robusto,
yeah.
kind of somewhere. But it wasn't like a brick in your hand. It wasn't like
It was
loosely packed, but it wasn't tightly packed.
It's
so
light.
it smoked, relatively quickly. I mean, when did we light these up? Maybe 45 minutes ago?
An hour.
Oh, it's been an hour?
It's been an hour.
For a cigar and we're pretty much, I mean, Senator's basically,
I'm getting there.
everybody's basically done. So like,
Wow, you guys are ahead of me.
You're ahead of you're ahead of me too. Probably because
it's not like it's
Look
a
at Pagoda.
huge time investment,
Wow.
Pagoda started early.
Yes, he did. He's lagging behind.
Listen, I like to smoke it slow.
Oh, really?
I thought you were going to say something else there.
No.
I'm
But I
getting,
thought, all right, let's
I'm
just
getting
keep
some
it PG.
spice. I'm getting some spiciness off the
I am as
burn
well.
line,
Yeah.
which is really pleasant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
White pepper.
Yeah, it's the pepper.
Yes, white pepper. Yeah.
This is a phenomenal cigar. For me, it's a great cigar.
This is definitely the best Mag 50 I've ever had. Not even close. Not even close.
If there were any doubts to its authenticity, I can confirm these are real. Because as I got down to the final stretch, the first
Oh, yeah.
band, the Red Mag 50 band,
Yeah.
the burn line is right there, and the glue is still stuck to the wrapper, and there was no hope. I had to peel it, and
Yeah, it's
obviously the
authentic.
wrapper's
Mine
blown
came-
out.
Same
mine
thing.
came right off.
Same exact. I had an issue as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
And still do, as a matter of fact.
So when we did the Senadores episode, we talked about, I think Rooster said it, about you having a QD day. Like you could smoke 3 or 4 QDs back to back in your day. If you were to do that with Upmann, what would your lineup be? If you were to choose 4 cigars from Upmann to smoke, boom, 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 boom,
In order.
right in a row or throughout the day, what would they be? Because I know what
Well,
I can name mine real quick right now.
I would do 4 Sir Winstons.
yeah.
I know what I would do.
Right.
You would do the 50.
I would start with the 50 if I had the time. I would do a 46 in the afternoon. I would do an Upmann 2 after that, and I would do a Sir Winston after dinner.
That would
And end
be
up
the
with a
same.
half Corona.
That's the
That's the
lineup.
move.
Yeah,
and then a half
absolutely.
Corona after that, but
I'm kind of disappointed. No one likes the 54.
I just don't love that ring gauge.
I
I've
love-
said that 1,000
I've
times.
had.
I love that
that's-
cigar.
Did you say number 2?
Yeah, that was right before
Yeah,
Double.
people like the 54. I
Oh,
just don't
yeah.
love 54 ring gauge cigars.
Yeah, it's true.
Once I get
Yeah.
past 52,
It's a little
like
too big.
52 in a torpedo is good because the mouthfeel for me is okay. But once I get past that kind of the E2 Connoisseur style, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's about as big as I go.
Yeah, it's a big
I don't know
ring
about
gauge.
anybody else.
Yeah.
The 54 for me, I have the Mag 54. Prior to that cigar, I could not say that I've had problems with any Upmanns. Any box of Upmanns I've ever bought, I have no complaints. That cigar, it's been a mixed bag for me.
Oh my god.
That's my only frustration with that cigar.
I have never had a performance issue, honestly, with any
We know
Upmann.
that.
With- Well, no, I've never had a bad Upmann. I have never had one.
Well, you get most of them from us.
Yeah, well.
So, I mean, of course you don't. They're well conditioned. They usually have some age on them and they're
Not-
sourced well.
not
so,
true.
You know,
That's
Not
the
true.
Royal Tenenbaum.
Not true. Not true. For the listener.
you're out.
All right.
That is
all
not
right,
true.
So because we're here now,
I love the 54.
we need an update.
On what? No.
Yes.
No.
Cue the intervention.
Every single episode,
Rooster,
this
pipe
will
down.
be brought up.
Until it's ready.
This
That's
is
right.
This is the Bam Bam accountability hour.
So,
I don't like that.
the answer's no. And
answer-
I'm going to give you.
It is no. I'm
I'm
sorry.
going to give you some advice, and I'm going to tell you how to get this done
You've
because
had
I
it
know
since May, by the way.
All right.
because I know how to get it done. So remember the gentleman from our old lounge,
Yes.
the mover.
Yes.
He
Yes.
he owns
Moving company.
yeah.
He used to. He sold it, but yeah.
They've been around for forever. They're very, very good, unless something has changed since he sold the company. But I've used them multiple times for small moves, stuff into storage, things like that. Very, very fair. Call these people.
They have a humidor seasoning department.
They
What?
have no. They will.
The humidor's in his house.
I have it in my house.
No, I don't
It's
believe that for a
downstairs.
second. I want to see a
no,
picture.
no.
All right.
But
I'll send you a
this
picture tomorrow.
isn't that particular. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but for me, I tried to move it with a hand truck with a friend. It's too heavy and big.
you
to
guys
He
move.
don't
doesn't
have the
have
same
the same
humidor.
No, we have a
model.
different
It's
one.
different. He has
I've got the Tower of Power too.
He has a different humidor.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, you have-
it's very light.
That's movable.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's in his
so-
house.
I have it
Okay,
downstairs.
I thought. I'm sorry.
Bam
I
can
thought
lift
he
it up.
had the one that Gizmo and I had.
I'll
No.
send you all a photo
that's-
tomorrow.
He can put it on his back.
Kind of. It's not that heavy.
Go up the stairs.
Here's the problem.
Well, then,
Pooba, here's the problem.
Then
I've
I don't
already-
know what
I've
to
already
say. I don't know what
That's
to
right.
say.
That's why we're so
Guys,
frustrated. He
guys,
has it in his
Guys,
house.
the problem is he didn't apply the kitty litter treatment yet.
No, that's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Listen, he's had it 9 months in his possession now.
Yeah,
You got it in what, May?
I don't remember.
Where is it?
It's in my cellar.
Okay. You haven't.
I've wiped it out with distilled water.
Have you put the Cigar Oasis in?
You
it?
No,
gotta
I
do that
haven't.
like
Have you
7
even bought
times.
the Cigar Oasis?
I have it all. I've got the LED tape, the light, the whole 9 yards, the weather strip.
What?
Tell
All you
Bam
have to do is
Jr.
plug it in.
I just
Bam
haven't gotten-
Jr.
Yeah, Bam Jr. is pretty good at that stuff. He could do that for me.
Right?
But what is it in the spot it's going to reside in?
Yes, it is. It's wiped out.
I
I
don't
just
know
got to
what's
get to
the-
it.
I
This is
thought it was
crazy.
in your garage.
This is
No.
crazy.
in
It
a
was in my
crate or
garage for a little
something.
while. No, it was there for a while, but it's downstairs.
This is lunacy.
You need to get this together, Bam. Seriously.
I will.
Bam Bam Accountability Hour.
I will.
It's
I will.
it's a new year. It's
Yes.
time. The people want you to get your shit together.
We need to set a timeline. By next pod,
How many?
we want to see a picture with
Well, do you have
cigars.
cigar? Do
Bam
you have
can't-
cigar? Does he have
At
cigars?
the next pod.
Yeah, he has Tupperwares.
How
Yeah, I
many?
have-
How many
has
listener
at least-
requests
a lot of
every
boxes.
week do we
Yeah.
get saying when is Bam going to get the
Okay.
humidor set up?
Here's what you do.
At
I'm
least
determined
two.
now.
But here's what you do.
You guys have put me on the spot. I'll get it done.
And the
It's called
listeners-
accountability.
Here's what you,
You
do.
got it. You got it.
take the Cigar Oasis, you install it. Then you take the drawers within the Tower of Power, and then you put distilled water on it, and you let them sit for a little while.
Yep.
That's
He's done
it.
that
I know.
already.
Then
He did that.
okay,
Well, no, I didn't get that far.
It doesn't
I
count.
wiped it out.
and
I-
then you wait a few days.
He did the
You
bottom
check it
shelf.
out, and then you put your cigars into the humidor,
you know,
and then you close the door
I'm
and
very
turn on the
embarrassed.
Oasis and put some hydrometers in there, and you're done.
I
And
know
then-
what it is. He's waiting for the electrician to do the LED lighting in the tower.
The string lights.
The string
No,
lights.
String lights.
that's not it.
This is for every
It's
podcast.
just strange.
It's a sin.
It'll get done.
This is a podcast sin. You're
And
committing.
here's the other.
Just put your cigars in it. What
so
are you
I-
afraid of?
I
So,
just have to find.
Do
I
you know
gotta
how
find
many
it.
people
It's
wanted
the
that
mental.
tower?
I gotta fit it in my brain.
So
I
And
gotta
by
get
the way,
done.
you'd be surprised at like how quickly the thing, because the cigars
So fast.
actually they contain some humidity, and then when you put the distilled and you what's it called when you put there's a technical term for it, when you put the distilled water on it, you just treat the cedar.
all the
Season?
surfaces. You
Yeah,
wipe,
the-
yeah, you
Talking
wipe
about
it all out.
seasoning?
Seasoning. Thank you guys. When you season it, you'd be very surprised how quickly
All right, here's a
good things
question.
start to happen.
So here's a
within there.
question.
It's not that hard.
So I wiped out the entire interior of the tower maybe 5 weeks ago with distilled water. Do I have to do it again?
Yeah.
Yes.
This
Probably.
is,
You gotta-
look,
you-
Ben,
you gotta
this
do
is-
that, like,
this is so fucking simple. Look, I own the exact same tower.
Yes.
All you need to do, take a sponge, put distilled water,
I did
wring it
that.
out. Just wipe down every surface in the entire
I've already
thing.
done that,
That's
but
going to take you 10 minutes.
but I've got to do it
It's
again
gonna ta-
apparently.
yes, it'll take 10 minutes.
Okay.
You're just wiping a sponge around cedar. This is the easiest thing
Get
you
the
can do.
Oasis.
I
in.
have to say,
And then
It's
look,
more like
you
7 minutes.
Look,
Yeah.
thank you. And then you just are going to plug in the Cigar Oasis,
Put it in there.
put distilled water in the bottom of it with beads it comes with. You're going to like that part.
He might use it for different reasons.
And literally just set the humidity to what you want it to.
Yep.
And that's it. Leave it for a few days. And that thing is going to hold humidity beautifully. And you're going to fill it up.
How long should I wait before I start loading it up?
I would
Six
just
Keep
months.
waiting.
Just-
A week?
I would just wait a week just to
Okay.
be
Bam,
extra
bam.
safe.
Bam, bam.
Just do it, dude. Put the cigars in. Nothing's
Just
gonna
put the
happen.
cigars in.
No, don't.
It's gonna happen, bro.
You're putting it. Put the whole boxes in there.
That's right.
I will.
You'd be surprised. I've run the Remington literally with nothing in it.
Mm.
And it sits at 62 because it's packed with cigars.
That's nice.
Something like it got a little dry. I took one of those big Bovida packs
the
and just
320s.
and just put one in the middle, and it just sits. It just sits. I don't do anything. I don't put any water
It's
in
a
there.
sealed cabinet, so
Yes.
it's gonna
Yes.
contain the humidity in it.
I've got to do the weather stripping around the door. I got to seal the outlet in the back.
Yeah, it's not sealed in the same way that yours are. Like
a little different.
it breathes more, which I prefer.
I agree.
It's
like
not
a
like
big humidor.
It's not
It's
like
like
a
a big-
Winador, where a Winador is
Yeah.
like literally like no air can
It's a
possibly flow
big
into anything.
desktop unit.
Yeah, but when you get a new toy, you want to set it up like right away.
Yeah.
You're
Honestly,
all, like,
there you go.
excited
It took
to do
so long
that.
to get. My enthusiasm waned by the time I got it.
So you
I moved
prefer
beyond it.
every day digging through Tupperware bins to find your cigars?
No, I
Come on.
actually hate
So-
that. I do hate
right.
that.
So that should be all the
I'll say,
motivation you
I
need.
hate it.
not to pile on,
Oh, go ahead, please.
but the amount of cigar acumen you have. It's just shocking that we had to go through this process of telling you how to do this.
I think you just like busting my chops.
No, what it is we love you, Bam. We care about
We
you.
do
I love
love
you too.
you.
I love
This
you
is
too.
an
dearly.
intervention.
This
I
is
love you
a
too.
needed intervention.
We want you to optimize this.
You
this
want me to
passion of
enjoy my
ours.
cigar passion?
Yeah.
I just what I hear is you don't care about the listener. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh,
Because
well,
they're
that's
counting
a
on
little
us.
that's a little too
They're
much.
That
counting
is-
on us to provide information.
That's a definitive statement.
I've got my tail between my legs now. It's a fixable. hurt.
It's a
I'm very
fixable
hurt.
problem.
That
It's a
hurt.
fixable problem.
Well, this
That
is what
hurts.
happens with the accountability hour. It's going to hurt for a couple weeks, and then it's going to feel really, really good.
By next pod, he will have the tower
Yes.
going with cigars in it.
Yep.
And
And I
you'll
do have
send-
a big shipment
you'll
of cigars
send us-
coming now, so
you'll
I've
send
got to
us
get it done.
pics.
Here's your deadline.
I've got to get it
Here's
done.
your deadline.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. It needs to be up and running.
I'm going to work on it tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm home
You're
tomorrow.
gonna sheet pan gift yourself a
I'm home.
Yeah,
a,
and it-
Yeah.
and by the way, you know what I
Cake.
do?
I would like that.
When I reorganize my humidor, which isn't very often because
Mm.
I'm a little bit of a pig pen. I'm not like Senator.
I'm very
Who
anal
like
about
lines
my,
up
yeah.
the fucking bands and shit and on
bands.
on his singles, and they point in the same direction.
He's fastidious.
Have you guys ever seen American Psycho?
really?
Senator.
Is that, yeah. Yeah. My humidor is just like a Tetris kit. But anyway,
All plugged together.
yeah, all just what I can jam in. But anyway, but what I do actually, because I keep guitars and stuff too, acoustic guitars down in where I keep it. What I'll do is I have this thing called the Venta, VENTA, which is an air cleaner and a humidifier, but it's not like a fucking Vicks humidifier or like one of the tobacconists we know runs in his humidor that you put like in a baby's room.
Oof.
It's not like from the 70s. It's not that. It actually recycles air, cleans it, and humidifies the air. They're made in Switzerland. They're really good. They're good for keeping instruments out of their case. What I do is I actually get the humidity up in that room. You guys have seen my little room.
Yeah.
I get the humidity up to about 52, which is good, perfect for instruments, right? So then when I open the humidor,
It's not
a shit show
not
to
jarring.
get it. It's not like shocking to it. So
Oh, cool.
I do that. So if you want to run, if it's in a small enough area,
No.
get it a little humid in there, so you're not fighting to like get the whole thing back
Yeah,
up,
I'm
because
not-
it's not going to take 2 seconds to do the loading.
Yeah, plus
So-
it's in the
and
cellar.
organize it.
It is
It's
in
in
a
the
cellar,
cellar,
but
so it's
Puba,
gonna
I
be
saw
more
his
humid.
room. He's got a cool setup. He's got his desk there. He's got all his guitars, and it's a separate room from the rest of the cellar level. That's kind of cool. I don't have that. I've got one
so
big
you're
room
gonna,
down
You're
there.
gonna build a separate room. That's what you're waiting for.
You
Yeah,
gotta build
yeah.
it. Man.
How would he be able to do
I
that?
get it. I get
Does
it.
he know
now.
how to do that?
I'm not.
He's
I
waiting
never
for
said
an
I'm doing
addition.
that.
He's putting an addition.
I am not doing that.
He would have to charge himself $77,000 to build the wall.
You could also
He's a contractor. He'd invoice himself. I'm sorry. Hi, Bam.
Honey,
This is Bam. I'm
yeah.
sorry. We're behind schedule and 40% overestimate. I can't get the humidor in. That's what he called himself. I'm sorry. I know the materials are there. It's just we're on other jobs. I can't install my own humidor.
Pagoda,
Bam, this is Bam.
I can't afford myself. I cannot afford
The
myself.
timeline's blown. He even, as a contractor, he even blew his own timeline.
Bam, this is Bam.
Pagoda.
Bam. Hi, this is Bam. I'm really sorry. I've blown my own timeline.
Pagoda, can you please rescue me, please?
Listen, the only thing I remember is I think we were supposed to order it at the same time. I did. I've had the humidor
but I
running
had
for
a
over a
delay.
year.
No,
Right?
no.
We were at
It
Brick
took
House,
an
I think.
extra. It took an extra 6 months to get my humidor.
Shocking.
Because you didn't order
Karma's
it right
a bitch.
then.
Yeah, kind of.
Since you have had the humidor, Pagoda's wife has changed the hinges on it 5 times.
Can I just say,
What the fuck,
this
man?
is a fucking onslaught. This is abuse.
This is called
What do you-
accountability.
What do you expect?
I'm gonna cry soon.
That's what we're going for.
Hi, hello.
at least you
hello.
have you got
Hello.
the-
This is hello. Hi. How you doing? Hi. This is no. This is Bam. No. I know that the job was supposed to be done.
Can you kill his mic, please?
The materials
Kill his
are
mic.
the materials are in. It's just getting it in the schedule right now is getting help is difficult.
Yeah.
Getting it's been very tough right
Labor's
there.
not available.
Supply
There's
chains
no
are a
labor.
problem, and prices are going up.
Puba,
He's
Puba,
charging himself more money.
Yeah.
Puba, please. Leave Bam the Tupper man alone. Tupperware man alone.
I'm sorry.
All right.
It was
Okay.
too easy.
All right.
All right. So we're going to stop the pile on now.
Okay.
We've processed this issue together.
Yes.
What takeaways? What's the delta? What takeaways do you have here? And what are your action items moving forward?
Well, I've realized I have no friends in the room.
He's gonna make a punch list and then do nothing. and never show up again.
He's missing the door.
I'm
Go to
sorry.
the
This
tower
is too
bar.
easy. It's too easy.
Hold on.
All right. So, what are your action items here? What are the takeaways?
Well, I got to wipe the thing out, get my Oasis in, seal it up, and get my cigars in there. That's
All right.
it.
And what's your timeline?
2 days.
Valentine's Day.
He said tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I'll
Okay.
get it done tomorrow.
All right. Good.
I got estimates to write. I got fuck it. I'm putting it all aside. I'm going to do this tomorrow morning.
We have
Only thing that
listeners.
you need to seal up is the
Tomorrow morning.
electrical box in the back. You have
And
to
the door.
seal around it.
That means April.
And the weather stripping around the door. Yep.
That's it.
24.
Yes.
And on the weather stripping, like the thinnest kind you can possibly get,
Yeah, I've got that foam.
but super thin.
It's like an
if
eighth
it's
of an inch.
thick, it's not going to
Yeah,
close.
eighth of an inch.
So, for the listeners out there who've emailed us asking, what's the status?
No
here?
one's emailed you.
What's up with Bam?
No one has emailed.
Please
you.
keep the emails
No one.
coming.
I know.
I've seen.
No one has emailed you.
Join the accountability. Help us. Help Bam.
Easy Rider 726 emailed us last week saying, "What's up with Bam's humidor?"
Who?
Easy Rider 726.
He's a listener, Bam. Remember, you don't care about the listener?
I do.
He's one of them.
Oh, Easy Rider. I got you.
Punch list is on
Okay.
its way.
What's the next topic?
Oh, gosh.
How's the cigar?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, hold on. The very last thing, there's one key component missing here. Should he not do this,
What's the punishment?
he has to give the tower up to,
Yes.
to the rest
Fuck
of
that.
us.
It's going to happen. No, it's going to happen.
There has to be some consequence.
I'm
here.
coming over next week. I'm going to take the tower.
Well,
I'm taking
you've
the
got-
cigars
That tower.
that I procured for him, by the way.
You need a double tower with your stock. Come on.
That's why he's going to take yours.
I personally
He
think
will
that
buy
the accountability hour and the public shaming is enough, but having some teeth and implement into this policy
It has come to a
might
conclusion.
might be worth. I think we've reached that point.
If you don't have it set up,
I'll
all
give
of
you
us get to
guys-
come over and take a box of our choosing
A
from
box?
your Tupperware.
A box.
A stick.
Each.
A
No,
stick.
a box.
I go first.
A stick. Oh,
A stick.
please.
He only has like 7 boxes. This won't be a big deal.
We would only be taking our own boxes back.
No respect.
gosh.
No respect at all.
Oh,
Oh, that was fun.
that was so fun. Bam. This is
Too
Bam.
easy. It was just too easy.
The contractor jokes just never end.
Oh, man.
Good thing there isn't a lawyer in the room.
Oh, yeah.
So, boys, we're into the last third here of the H. Upmann Magnum 50. What
I
are you
like
thinking
it.
right now?
I like it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
man.
I've started another cigar
Yeah?
Senators
You finished it?
because I finished it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's really, really good.
Damn, you guys smoke really fast. I'm just surprised.
All right, boys. Are you ready to do the formal liquor rating on the Aberlour 12?
Yes.
Our Scotch
Yes.
pairing tonight. Yeah? Bam, Bam, you're up.
Mhm. I'm going to give this an 8.
Okay.
Delicious.
Grinder?
I'm in between a 7 and an 8. Excuse me. I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Pagoda?
8.
Okay. Senator?
8.
8 for me. Puba?
8.
Okay. Formal liquor rating on this is a 7.8, which I
I'm
think is
sorry.
perfect.
I think it's low. 8.
I think it's a bit
It
low,
should have
yeah.
been an even 8.
I mean, look, I'm actually.
Give me this evil eye.
It's a great spirit, man.
Yeah.
No, it
It
is,
is.
but I have
It
to
needs
say,
ice. It needs ice.
where the rating ended up, I actually think is very reflective of where it should be, even as someone who gave it an 8. The reason I say that, like, if we had decimals, why I love when this gets average, I think 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, ends in the right spot. If there's one knock I have on this, look, this is, first of all, extremely versatile. Like Puba said, you have this like in the summer when it's hot. You
Yeah.
can have this when it's cold, but you don't want something too full bodied. There's so many applications for this.
Great.
But the thing that it lacks is complexity. It's very straightforward. It's just a sherry bomb. You know exactly what you're going to get. There's nothing hidden or complex in this spirit. And so for me, that's where like you have to deduct a little bit. So I think like a 78 out of 100 is like exactly where this belongs. But it's delicious. I mean, you could
It
polish
is.
this. I mean, we've almost killed the bottle. We don't do
We
that.
will
every time
kill
we're
that
here.
bottle.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
sure
What's
will.
the price point on this? We didn't talk about that.
Oh, it's fantastic. That's the other thing that really should factor in. Now, this is where, I mean, maybe there's merit when Bam says it's too low because the price point is so good.
This is when it goes from
You
algebra
used
to
to be able to
alchemy.
get this for a long time for $40 a
Oh,
bottle,
dude.
which is
Wow.
outrageous.
What's it now?
Wow.
I think like 45.
Okay.
47,
I think it's
which is
around
still
50
fair.
bucks. 50
That's
bucks. I
awesome.
just bought one a couple of weeks ago.
Bro,
already.
$50 for that is
Oh.
That's a very fair
It's
price.
excellent.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
No,
That's a
it
great
is,
price.
Well,
Phenomenal.
that's why the Balvenie is priced so
Yeah,
competitively.
that
It's
too.
Yeah.
60
The-
bucks, 62.
Off the
And,
charts.
and Belvini is way better, I think.
Oh yeah.
well, it's
And
different.
we're gonna revisit
That's
that
more
one too.
expensive.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what,
I'm a-
65 a bottle?
See, I don't know if that word better applies. It's just different. They're both very good.
That's
They're-
also
it's
that's also very sherry-esque and
Not
bit
like
of-
this.
No, not this way. But,
Yeah.
But I think it's got more complexity and a little more
Oh, of
viscous.
course. Oh,
It does.
sure.
And
sure.
its price point reflects that. It's
Yeah.
like $15 more bottle
Yep.
than this is.
Yeah.
All right, boys, we've come to the end here of the H. Upmann Magnum number 50.
I am really liking this cigar.
Great finish. Performed beautifully.
Yep.
I didn't touch it up one time. Even when I was talking about Cuba or busting Bam's balls, I didn't touch it up one time. The entire
You had to say
entire
that?
smoke. Oh,
All right.
He's holding himself accountable.
yeah. This is the accountability hour.
All right.
We're still in it.
God damn you.
Are you guys ready to do the formal lucid rating on this thing?
Yes.
All right, Rooster, you're up.
All right, so I'm gonna give it a 7.
Oh,
But,
Wow.
But I'm gonna explain.
Okay,
later
we'll
on.
wait.
So when you pick up this cigar, to me, I feel like this should have a little bit more flavor. I mean, it's a pleasant smoke, but I need more out of a stick that size. And I typically would smoke this in the morning, but I won't pick this up in the morning because it's such a big cigar. So for that reason, and it was pleasant. It didn't blow me away. I mean, it's a good cigar, but there's other better Upmanns that I enjoy more, like the 46.
Yep.
So I think that's the reason why I'm at a 7.
Okay. Puba.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me. I mean, I don't think it's a 7 for me. I think for what it is and what it's designed to be, it's not like it's trying to be something different than it is. So I think if you want a relaxing smoke that's going to take some time and that's mild, it's the construction was good. Didn't touch it up once. The combustion was really good. It was rolled really well. The build was really solid. So I'm going to give it an 8 just because I can't give it a 7 because I don't think it's trying to be anything else than what it is. Now, if it's not for you, that's a different story.
So be it. Yeah.
So be it. But I can't give it that low of a score because I think it's a little bit better than that, than a 70-point cigar.
Yeah.
For me.
So for me, any other Magnum I think I've had in the past would probably have been a 6 or a 7. This is definitely the best. Magnum 50 I've had in the past would be a 6 or 7. For this specific cigar, for what it did, for what it was, this was absolutely an 8 for me all day. It bordered. I was touching a 9 for a minute, but it settled out very clearly at an 8. Especially as I think about the other Magnum 50s. The one thing that Rooster said that for me makes a lot of sense is I just don't see this slotting in for me a lot. Generally, when I'm reaching for something in the afternoon, it's not a big double Robusto smoke.
It doesn't need to
know.
slot in. I mean, it
That's
is
true.
what it is.
Yeah. But I'm not going to rush out and buy a box of these for
Right.
sure. Senator.
I love Rooster's commentary on this because we're in lockstep, and I was worried that everyone's going to give this an 8 and I was going to be the lowest score. I am absolutely at a 7. The reason I'm at a 7, there's a lot that works well in this cigar. The construction, like Puba said, is fantastic. I didn't have many problems. Obviously, the band, but that's every Cuban. That's nothing specific to this. The things I have a hard time with are for what it is. So this is designed to be a mild smoke, which would slot in for me early in the day. And you mentioned that there's some comparisons to QD and kind of this lighter profile, which I very much resonated with me as I was smoking it. I've become obsessed with as a morning smoke a QD 50. What I like most about that cigar that not one lizard in this room mentioned this word. There's a creaminess
I
in the
mentioned it.
QD 50.
Mhm.
I did not get a creaminess about this cigar. I got a lot of different flavor notes. There was complexity. Those are all merits that deserve praise. But the thing for me, I just love, like in the morning with a cup of coffee, which is where I would reach for a stick, like just a creaminess that kind of brings everything together in a way that I'm able to get from other milder sticks that this didn't have. So just for my personal preference, that was one thing that I would have hoped for in this that was lacking. I also think that the size, it's just too long for something that's going to slot in early in the day.
Yep.
At most, I'm going to smoke a regular Robusto. I'm not going to smoke something this long. So those were kind of the two biggest things for me. And then the last thing I'll say, which also was a problem, the final third, I liked that it picked up in flavor and started to get peppery, but really close down the stretch, like when I was starting to smoke this closer to the nub, this is not a cigar I would smoke all the way to the nub. I found like the flavor like totally got lost and it was just hot tobacco toward the very end, where a lot of other Cubans, like, you know, a D4, a D5, a D6, like you can smoke that literally to your fingers burn and that flavor is still so good.
Yeah.
So that just didn't happen for me here. So that's why I landed at 7.
Got it. Pagoda.
Yeah, this is really interesting because this definitely does not fit in my flavor profile. But I got to tell you, the last third is something I'm really enjoying. I enjoyed the first third. I think the middle, I kind of lost it. My thought with it is, I was going between a 7 and 8 and 7 and 8, and I think it's a really strong 7. But this is one of those Cuban cigars I could have easily pushed towards an 8, especially the last third. I think if it had a little more of the last third, somewhere in the middle as well, I think it'd definitely be an 8 for me.
Grinder.
So there's a lot of things about the cigar that I really appreciate and enjoy. You know, this is a flavor profile that is really kind of something that I like. It's lighter, it's smoother. The aroma out of this cigar was phenomenal. Just out of the end of the foot of the cigar was really something special, and it maybe had something to do with the age on it, or you know, just the quality of tobacco. The thing, you know, that itself, if I just look at that in isolation, would be a perfect cigar for me, because like they had that smoothness, and then in the middle there was this spice that came on that was like reminiscent of Upmann, but it just wasn't there in totality. And for that, I was like often frustrated. I think that's kind of the word that I would say is frustrated, because they had this subtlety that I liked, and I appreciated the softness and the creaminess. I did get some creaminess, as Senator mentioned, but I was generally frustrated because that smoothness wasn't consistent. It was like it was very episodic, and for a cigar this size, there's too many episodic moments of goodness, but also just like, meh, you know, I have to spend all this time smoking the cigar. However, it did burn pretty quickly. So for that, it was a very, very solid 7 for me. Very, very solid 7. And I don't know the last time I smoked this cigar what I would have rated it, but I would be keen on understanding that, because I wouldn't be surprised if it's similar to that.
Bam Bam.
I'm gonna give this an 8, and I'm giving it an 8 because there aren't very many lighter bodied cigars that are of this quality that I like. I really like this cigar, and it's not in my flavor profile at all either. But for the guys and gals out there that like a lighter cigar, I think this is a home run for them, and I think it's worth an 8, a rating.
I find that so interesting, because I would be super. This would be in my power alley, but I give it a 7.
Yeah, it's
You know?
strange.
Yeah, I think there's merit in the commentary. I think the commentary it's insightful. I'm a little bit more of an Upmann like person, maybe. Like I don't know, but
I think you are.
I think I am. But you guys aren't wrong. I mean, it doesn't. I guess reflecting back,
I
index up a little bit with Upmann, probably, but you're not wrong. Like everything that you guys said is, I couldn't quite give it a 7, but it was just an 8 for me. It was just an 8.
What Senator said early on,
I just think it was very good commentary.
Yeah, and in our report,
it's accurate. I mean, like
early on, Senator, you said this is a polarizing cigar in a lot of the reviews. There's a reason for that. I think it's because of the quality of it. It's hard to place it for a lot of people because it's so light bodied.
I was looking for a more definitive statement in the cigar, and I got a lot of whispers. You know,
yeah.
So
that's pretty accurate.
I agree with that.
You're not wrong.
And I like the way you describe it.
That's
I
pretty
also
accurate.
just want to say, I mean, even in giving this a 7, and I don't know, the other guys that gave it a 7, feel free to agree or disagree. When I'm giving this stick a 7, this is not saying that I didn't enjoy the cigar or that this is a bad cigar. If someone gave me one of these, would I smoke this again? Absolutely.
Sure.
Anything I rate a 7 or higher, I would smoke again.
Sure.
But the difference for me between a 7 and an 8, 9, or a 10 is, will I pursue a box of these? No. Will I myself seek to smoke this again? Not necessarily. But if it fell into my possession, if I was somewhere and this was really all they had, I would pick this up and know that I'm going to have a fairly satisfying experience, just not a top experience like some of the other sticks.
Right. If let's say you had some cigars and you were like, okay, and we were trading something, like, well, I'll throw in a Mag 50 plus this, and this. You'd be like, okay. Like it wouldn't offend me. No, you'd be like, all right, like I'll definitely, having a few in your humidor isn't a bad thing. Maybe you don't go out and buy a cabinet, but maybe you buy 5 and you age them and you keep them around for a while, Yeah. Like I only have one cabinet of these. So I thought maybe I had more, but I only actually have the one cabinet because I don't go for it that often.
Yeah, but again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. There aren't very many lighter bodied cigars that are of this quality that I want to smoke. I would smoke this again.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
The build was terrific.
Yeah, absolutely.
The construction was terrific.
Yeah.
Like we didn't touch it up. Like
No.
it's like a
combustion's
a
great.
premium cigar. I would say
There's no question.
it's a premium
Cuba,
smoke.
there's no doubt about
But I
that.
think
And it wasn't like so. It wasn't like just a complete dead lay.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like
A wet fish?
or a
No, but
lit
the
fish.
flip side of that, it wasn't memorable. Like for me, that's what precludes
yeah.
me from
Yeah.
giving it an
No,
8,
it's
9, or
not
10.
memorable.
But I also
either.
think for the
Well,
people
hold
who
on, but-
pursue this, the people who pursue this kind of flavor in a cigar,
It's a home run for them.
this is exactly what
And-
they're looking for.
But
you
it's,
ever-
also, it's also not memorable for those that pursue a different type of cigar like we do as a group.
Yeah. I think
That's all it is.
A nice analogy that I just kind of thought of is like, when you're a kid and you go to like, some kids are really into roller coasters. You go to roller coasters, different theme parks, and you get to some really beginner roller coasters and intermediate and really like high velocity roller coasters. This is one of those where like we're all experienced roller coaster riders. And we get into this middle one that's like, oh, this is a great brand. It's at a great park. It's going to be awesome. It goes inverted, does this, that, the other thing. And then you're just like, yeah, it goes upside down. It goes kind of fast and it does this and this wheelie and so on and so forth. But it was underwhelming. It wasn't that it wasn't satisfying. It was, but it was just kind of like, yeah,
I'm
I've been there.
surprised because
I've
you
been
do
there,
like
done
that
that.
lighter profile.
I know,
cigar.
but
It's
like
shocking.
it was like I was used the word again, episodic. I was like, oh, this is really great. And then I was just like, but it died. It just kind of died, you know?
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed the beginning of that cigar.
Near the beginning and the end.
I like the whole thing.
I
Beginning to
enjoyed
end.
the whole thing front
Yeah.
to back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like I didn't get frustrated smoking it, but it didn't blow my hair back either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pleasant, but it
If
doesn't
I
blow
was
you
if
away.
I could give it a 7.6, I don't know if I'm breaking the
Well, that's
rules.
what's funny is
If
that's
I
the
was-
exact formal lizard rating
7.8.
is a 7.6.
7.8.
Oh, is that what it is?
7.8.
Yeah.
7.8.
8.
Do the
7.8.
math. Do the math again. Come on, Giz.
Jesus.
Like if I could give it a 7.6, I would have
calculator.
given it.
7.6.
You have three
You
cells.
did say
said earlier
7.8.
7.8 on the Aberlour.
that's
Oh.
The Aberlour was a 7.8, and the Magnum 50 was a 7.6.
Okay.
That's an accurate score.
It's
That's
an
a perfect
accurate
score. It's a perfect score for the pairing.
See, I can't believe I just
really-
handicapped that.
I
like,
just
out of my
really
ass.
enjoyed. I really enjoyed smoking it, and like I smoke cigars, and I rate them a 7, and that's like a high score
Yeah,
for me. Like,
course.
and I love that flavor profile.
Mm.
I think for me, the same thing with the center said. I gave it an 8. It was the best Magnum 50 I've ever had. I'm not going to rush out and buy a box. I would have 5 or 10 in my Humi, be very happy with them, and probably
Yeah.
have them for 5 years.
And I
I'm
think-
not going to reach for
Yeah,
them.
and
that
from
much.
the point of view of the listener, it's a recommend.
Absolutely,
It's a
it's a
recommend.
recommend.
anything over a 7.
7
Yeah.
is a
And if
recommend.
and if you're in the flavor, if your palate prefers a mild to medium cigar, this is a 6.25 inch long 50 ring gauge cigar that smokes great,
You're gonna love
like
it.
a chimney,
Great
great
com-
construction.
Great
Go
combustion.
try
Excellent
it.
combustion.
And
Excellent
and
combustion.
the aroma on the foot is
It's amazing.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really and like I said, there are those whispers of spice. There is complexity that they interweave into it. It's just not very pronounced.
Like the Mag 46 for a lot of smokers,
Oh,
they
that-
don't love it.
and that's what.
But
for
we
some
love
people
it.
that might be
Love
perfect.
that cigar.
It might
Yeah,
be perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Grinding.
I think
Yeah.
we talked about it very early on. I think the blend was very, very specific and intentional. And I think what they were going for, they achieved.
Yeah, agreed.
I really do. And the fact that we didn't have to touch it up, I think is
It's
really a high mark.
Yeah,
That's a high mark.
They were really rolled well.
Yeah.
The fact that you didn't get nicotine poisoning.
Yes. These
said.
These were great cigars. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
thanks,
excellent,
Cuba.
Senator.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Good-
Cuba.
oh, by the way, I just saw something pretty good golf course cigar. If you were on the golf course,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Smoke
it would be nice in the summer, and you put it in the golf cart. It's big enough, and it'll last you.
For the
You know
round,
that
yeah.
or by the pool or something.
Yeah.
You could let it. Even if it goes out, you relight it. So I mean, I think it has its spot.
Oh yeah.
It may not be like the lounge cigar. It's definitely not an after dinner cigar.
No.
But it's a spot, maybe warmer months, and you've got
Yeah.
some time on your hands. Light one up.
Maybe you open up the arts section of the journal and you smoke a little more.
There you go.
on that Sunday afternoon.
Or I think
Sure.
the best I think the best application for this cigar is going to be, Bam, while you're setting up that
I
tower,
knew you were going to say that.
Yes, he's going to set up the
fucking knew
tower.
All right. Puba, I need one of those.
By the way, it's yours. Set up the tower.
I'll do that.
Bam, don't be so hard on yourself with the
Okay.
invoice,
All
okay?
right, I
Get it
won't.
done. All right, boys.
Bam. This is Bam.
Oh God.
Bam, this is Bam.
Bam, this is Bam.
Let it go.
We
Let
got
it go.
So
I
I'd
love that,
to talk
by
to
the
you
way.
about the project.
Move it along, Gizmo.
All right, boys. A 7.8 for the Aberlour single malt Scotch and a 7.6 for the Cuban H. Upmann number 50, Magnum number 50. Great night, boys. I think we accomplished a lot tonight. I think Bam Bam has a list of things to do. We covered a lot of things tonight.
This might be Bam's last.
I quit.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for Bam today. He will leave you with a
Fuck it. We're gonna do it live.
All right, boys. A 7.8 for the Aberlour 12-year single malt Scotch whiskey and a 7.6 for the Cuban H. Upmann number 50. An excellent night. We accomplished a lot. Bam Bam has a list to do.
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
0.0 for Bam's.
That is
accomplishments with
really
this tower.
that's low. That's really low.
Good luck, Bam. We love you. All right, boys. We'll see you next week.
Keep smoking.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for joining us. You can find our merch store and ratings archive at our brand new website, loungelizardspod.com. That's loungelizardspod.com. Don't forget to leave us a rating and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. If you have any comments, questions, if you want to reach out, say hello, tell us what you're smoking, email us, hello@loungelizardspod.com. You can also find us on Instagram @loungelizardspod. We really appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week.